it's Miss Sunny from the Rock Springs Library. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Somewhere with Sunny, where we read some fun books and go on a really neat field trip somewhere in Sweetwater County. Today's another 2-book day. So I want everybody to put their thinking caps on and start thinking about where we might be going. This first book is called A Rainbow of Rocks. Do you have a favorite color? My favorite color is gray, and there are lots of gray rocks out there, so I get pretty lucky when it comes down to it. Look at all those pretty rocks. A rainbow of rocks. Claystone is crumbly and crushable. Ruby is nearly unbreakable. Copper gives sunstone its fiery glow. Iron makes citrine rusty though. Pyrite cubes reflect the light. Calcite is glassy, edged in white. This emerald glistens the deepest green. That jade is the palest shade I've seen. Sapphire lets the sun shine through, and light reflects off turquoise blue. Fluorite crystals look like squares. Amethyst points up everywhere. Obsidian is black and smooth as glass. Basalt's holes come from bubbles of gas. Labradorite seems to glow, and bornite shines like a rainbow. Rocks in every shape and hue, each one's different, just like you. Let's look at this really quickly. Can you guys help me with the colors? I see red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And when you have all of those colors, you make a rainbow. Isn't that cool? Rocks are really, really cool. But the person who wrote this next book doesn't think so yet. Do you think we can try and convince them that rocks are fun? I think we should give it a go. This one's called I'm Trying to Love Rocks. I can't think of a good reason not to love rocks. Can you? I'm trying to love rocks. This is a book about geology, and it all starts with loving rocks. Like that rock right there. Check it out. It's very rock-like. It's hard, doesn't move. It turns out rocks don't really do much. Do you think we should poke it? It's still not doing anything. Well, that didn't work. Maybe the next book will be better. The end. Wait, no. What are you doing? I'm ending the book. It was about geology, but it turns out that rocks are super boring. So I'm just gonna make a book about something exciting, like volcanoes, or diamonds, or fossils. Literally everything you just listed is a part of geology. No way. Really? Geology is more than just staring at rocks. Geology is the study of what the earth is made of, its history, and the processes the earth does all on its own. How do you know all this stuff? Are you like the president of the geology club or something? Yep, sure am. Wow. Can you make me love rocks more? I can try. Check this out. They might not look like they're doing much, but all rocks on Earth are constantly and super slowly changing with the help of weathering, pressure, and heat. Magma is the rock that gets so hot it melts. I thought that was lava. When it's underground, we call it magma. Once it hits the surface, then we call it lava. Okay, fiery liquid rock is easy to love. But what about all the boring rocks that I see every day? But these rocks all have a different story to tell. Wait, rocks can talk? You didn't tell me rocks could talk. Hello, rocks, nice to meet you. What are your names? They're not talking. That's That's not what I meant. Although geologists do give names to different kinds of rocks, like pumice or sandstone or marble, they also classify rocks into 3 types based on how they're formed. Over many, many years, the earth breaks down and changes each type of rock into new and different rocks. We call this the rock cycle. The word igneous means fiery because igneous rocks are formed when hot, melted rock cools, either underground or because of a volcanic eruption. Most of the Earth's crust is igneous rock. That's a lot of lava. Sedimentary rock is made of, wait for it, sediments. The Grand Canyon is a great example of sedimentary rocks that formed over millions of years. Metamorphic rock is rock that changes from extreme heat or pressure, like limestone becomes marble, kind of like how kernels become popcorn. And you think that's impressive? Enter minerals and gemstones. Minerals are the building blocks of rocks and gemstones. Some minerals we use every day, like copper or salt or iron. Other minerals get polished into fancy gems. Many gemstones are created when minerals collect inside and between rocks. Diamonds are created when carbon is put under extreme pressure. Wait, so I just have to squish a rock in my hand to get a diamond? Awesome, let's make some diamonds. It's still just a rock. You can't just squish any rock into a diamond. It has to be carbon, and it needs a lot more pressure, something closer to the weight of 60 elephants. Where am I gonna find 60 elephants? That's a great question. You'd make a good scientist. I would, but I don't know this stuff. Science isn't about having the answers. It's about asking questions. Geologists get to ask lots of big questions about our home, the Earth. Think of rocks and minerals as the clues geologists use to figure out the mysteries of our planet, like, how did these mountains get here? Why do we have earthquakes? What will we find if we dig a big hole? And where did this island come from? Even the rocks in your own backyard can answer questions and act like time machines, showing you what the Earth looked like thousands or even millions of years ago. Time machines, those aren't boring at all. Wait, does that mean that I love rocks now? Welcome to the club. Okay, so we talked about rocks and trying to love them, and all sorts of gemstones. We got to see some gemstones in this book, didn't we? Where do you think we would go in Sweetwater County to talk to someone about rocks and gemstones? Put your thinking cap on, and I'll see you in just a second. Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. Let's look around a little bit. Does this look a little bit like a classroom to you maybe? We are at the Western Wyoming Community College with Dr. Dana Pertermann, who is the head of the Geology Department. That means she's a professor in geology. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, you're welcome.
What does it mean to be a professor of geology?
It means that I get to teach people about what's going on in the world around them and how this planet affects their lives.
Very cool. I don't know about you guys. I kind of like to get my hands dirty. Do you guys like to get your hands dirty? It's kind of a fun thing to do. You can do that for a living. Just saying. Dr. Dana's proof here, all right? So our first question for Dr. Dana today is, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, I actually wanted to be an astronaut when I was growing up.
Very cool.
I went into college. I took my first college geology class and kind of never looked back.
And fell in love.
Yep.
She decided to keep her feet on terra firma instead of heading up. That's kind of interesting.
Yep.
So we're going to ask Miss Dana a little bit of a different question. Instead of asking her what her favorite animal is, we're going to ask her what her favorite rock or mineral is.
So probably my favorite rock, mineral, earth material is obsidian. And one of the reasons I love this piece actually so much is, I hope it shows up good for the camera, is this one actually popped right off and it makes this scallop pattern. The obsidian is actually natural glass, and it scallops just like if glass was to break. It's actually called conchoidal fracture, so that's a big word.
I can't say that. That's pretty. We'll make sure to get a good close-up of that before we leave. It's kind of interesting, but my favorite rock is Obsidian too, and so is Miss Constance's. We were just chatting about it before we started today. I think mine's just because it's so shiny.
I mean, I have lots of other favorites. This one's malachite. This actually has a different type of pattern to it. It's called botryoidal.
Another word I can't say, but as long as Dr. Dana can.
It means it makes the little bubbles.
Bubbles. I can say bubbles.
And then I really like this one, because this is actually, these are big crystals of biotite. And biotite's actually a mineral that you use, if you powder it up, it's actually what they put into paint to make it sparkly.
Oh, very cool. We all love sparkly paint, don't we?
Yeah.
So we have scallops, we have bubbles, and we have sparkly paint. Rocks are cool, you guys. Come on.
Rocks are cool.
Rocks are cool. All right, Dr. Dana, what was your favorite book when you were growing up?
When I was little, it was probably Little House in the Big Woods by Laura Ingalls Wilder.
Very cool. We haven't read that one together. That's a chapter book, everybody. So make sure that's another one to add to our bedtime chapter book list if you're making one. Let's see. There's a lot of rocks and a lot of minerals and a lot of gems. I bet it took a very long time to memorize what all of these are called. How long did it take to become a professor in geology?
Well, you got to get a bachelor's degree in geology, and that usually takes 4 years. Took me a little longer because I went to community college first. I was actually in the military. So I finished that up, finished up college. Then I got a master's degree actually in archaeology while I was at it. And then I went and got my PhD. So that's another 6 years. And now I get to do this.
And now she gets to teach us all about bubbles and scallops and sparkly paint. I think it's worth it. I don't know, but that's just me.
I thought so.
See, that's 2 of us. There we go. All right, Dr. Dana, is there anything else that you want to tell kids who think that they might want to be a geologist when they grow up? Any tips or tricks of the trade?
One thing is to go outside and explore. That's probably the biggest trick I could tell you is literally go outside and look around. Wyoming is amazing and has some beautiful geology and is actually some of the more famous geology. There's fossils from all over the place around here that are studied all over the world.
All right, boys and girls, thank you so much for hanging out with Dr. Dana and I today here at the Western Wyoming Community College. And like always, we'll see you next week. Bye.